Zoom recording button here. If you can come off of chat and join us via audio, you can. I encourage it because it's going to be a lot for me to manage that chat today, just because I'm really just using the training computer here today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm so happy we got so many people here today. This is going to be great. If you can in Zoom world, give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen here. Thanks so much. I might end up moving this camera so you can see not just the side of my face, but actually my face. That might be a little better. How about that? So we'll start with there. Okay, we heard from Leah. We're going to start real quick, just really what kind of objectives we can accomplish today. So Tracy, I'd love to start with you first. What kind of things are you looking to take away from today in like 15 seconds or less?
I need to make sure that my clients are on campaigns and SmartPlans.
Got it.
So that's really what I'm looking for, is to have that touch.
It's just to implement it.
Yeah.
Yep, got it. Billy, same thing or something different?
I think that, I'd like to keep in touch with the personal side of the clients that I've had, with closings in the past year, right? And then also adding that personal touch, right? Where they think that.
So you're really just deepening those connections.
Right.
Love that.
Deepen those connections, but then also as Tracy said, is that get those touches in.
Yeah, love that. Lynn, if you can come join us on audio, I'd love to hear what your main goal is for today.
Drying her hair, putting on makeup.
That's okay. And Lynn, will come back to you whenever you're ready. You could just come off of mute and we'll hear from you too.
I'm here.
Okay, gotcha. What are you looking to take away from today?
Same thing Tracy said. I'm terrible at putting anybody on SmartPlans. Therefore, I lose a lot of leads that way.
Yep, totally get that. Hey, today could be the day. Today could be the day that we're going to change that and make that into reality, going right forward strong into 2023. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm all about it. Laura, I haven't heard from you yet. What's going on in your world? What are we taking away today in 15 seconds or less?
So I want to come up with use smart plans that I will actually implement and put in action.
It's great to talk about it. We just have to do it, right?
Yes.
I get that. So look, I think you're in the same boat, and I'm so glad to know that you're not the only one. Isn't that a great feeling that you're not the only one today, which is nice. Tammy, let's hear it. 15 seconds or less.
I have many people. I haven't stayed in touch with them. I need to stay in touch with them, and I need to do it now.
Execute. Come on. Let's make it happen.
That was like 5 seconds.
That was perfect. Talisha, same thing. 15 seconds or less. What are you looking to take away today?
Basically the same thing, a way to keep in touch with clients, and a way for them to see me, see my face, or see something from me every so often, so that they won't forget.
That's perfect. So Ann, welcome to the room. I know that you also have had some experience in real estate. What could be an area of opportunity to improve on when it comes to staying in touch with your clients or your contacts?
For me, I would like to build clientele.
Okay.
Because I haven't got the experience to do that. If I've ever do anything in regards to real estate,
Yeah.
going off of other people's resources.
Sure. So it's kind of using your own and building from that. That's so awesome. I'm going to show you what our platform can do with that as well. And if you have any more questions after that, I'd love to maybe schedule some time where I can answer some more questions for you too. So we'll make that happen as well. I don't know about you. I'm ready to get started. This is going to be very interactive.
Did you ask Leah?
Excuse me?
I don't think you asked Leah.
I asked Leah earlier.
Amber, I was on early.
Ask Amber though. So Amber, if you want to share what you're looking to take away from today, feel free to jump in on audio here.
Hi, everyone. I'm really interested to see if they've improved on some of the smart plans and things, especially for teams.
Great. Yes. And if need to, Amber, we can schedule some time one-on-one and we can go through a little bit more on that, what it looks like from a team perspective. So there's some nuances with that. So feel free to lean on me as a resource with that. I'd be happy to help out in any way I can. So some of you have met me, some of you have not. So I'm just going to introduce myself. First of all, thank you for being here. We are talking a little bit about customizing and building smart plans, and we're also going to highlight some of my top 5 favorites, if you will, of just quick smart plans to execute and to get started. And so that's probably the biggest thing that we've heard today is I just need to do it, and that's fine. But it's just taking that first step, right? So don't leave today without taking that first step. Find 1 or 2 that are really going to work for you. And maybe like you could even start as soon as today that we want to do it, right? So let's find some time today, just put that on our calendars, be intentional with it, and just make it happen. So yeah, Tammy.
One more thing, John, like I found smart plans that I like, but there's a step or 2 in there that I don't like.
We're touching on that too. Yep, that's great to talk about. We'll touch on that today too. So we're going to talk a little bit about customizing and building your smart plans. Tammy, this falls in your category too. But like I said, if we haven't met yet, my name is John. I love my job if you haven't realized that just yet. And if you find out that it's like, this guy's just full of crap or like he's just not feeling it, let me know because I clearly need to be in a different space. But here's a little bit of my background. I came from a public school teaching experience. That's what my degree is in. So my specialty is anywhere from ages 8 all the way to 12. And sometimes real estate agents fall in that same category too, which is okay.
Or younger.
Or younger, right? Exactly. Yeah, you could go as far down as kindergarten if you really want to go on that stretch there. So I was a public school teacher. I taught middle school math and science for about 5 years. Prior to that, I was a lead instructor at our local Apple store in Augusta, Georgia. So I taught anywhere from ages 8 to 88 where the power button was. So needless to say, I've got a lot of patience with that too. So I'm fine in that category too. October 4th, 1 year here with Keller Williams. I'm so happy to have been a part of this team now for a year. And we're just.
I thought it was the spring.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So happy to be here every day. So just shortly after joining Keller Williams, I got married in November, like a month after. So then we went on the honeymoon. So that's why I wasn't here very much. But that's my beautiful wife, Katie. We've been together almost a year now. November 5th is when we'll be together for a year. So very excited. Love my life right there. That's my big why. That's why I do what I do. But my goal is really to help people better understand and become more comfortable with technology through hands-on training. That's what I told you earlier, Billy. We're doing it today, starting right now, hands-on training. As a public school teacher, I shunned away from, okay, let's put our phones away. Today is the day where we actually get to use our devices. So Zoom world, come join us today with participation, okay? Don't shy out on us. We want you to be engaged. So I've got a question for you. I hope this, good gosh, I hope this works. Okay, great. Here's what I want you to do. On your web browser, on your phone, feel free to snap that QR code, or Zoom World, if you don't want to use your phone, or if you're using your phone, come join me at slido.com. Here's the number 5398255. This, like I said, this is very interactive today. So this is going to be a way where we can interact together in person and in Zoom World, because I think we all have something to contribute. And I'd love to hear specifically from you on something that I'm hearing from a lot of. So if you haven't gotten that code just yet, I think it pops up along other platforms and other slides here. So let's take a look. You could still scan it. Great. Okay, so this is a poll. I want you to engage in this. This is completely anonymous. So feel free to share directly what it is that you want. There's no names attached with it, but I just want to hear from you. What are you currently doing to maintaining relationships with your sphere of influence and to establish new ones? There's no wrong answers here. It could be just as simple as I'm going through the context of my phone and I'm texting people. I am utilizing SmartPlans and I love it. That would get my love language going a little bit, but don't be teacher's pet today if that's not your thing. So I'd love to hear from you what it is that you're currently doing to maintain relationships within your sphere of influence and to establish new relationships as well. So I don't know what this looks like from your end, but I'm actually going to do it myself. And I'm going to snap that QR code too. We've got some people saying going to networking events, trying to use Facebook, staying in front of people, texting, handwritten cards. That's great. MLS drip campaigns, very cool. Using referrals, love that. Mailers, social media posts, neighborhood snaps. Now you're talking my love language here. Love it, love it. Videos via BombBomb, very cool. Love that. Not a lot or not enough. Interesting. My main thing is Facebook comments. I love that. That's a great way. That's still considered in my as a touch. So I love that. Using AM cards, text calls, emails, a little bit of SmartPlans, door knocking. Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Got one more person typing. I'll let them type what they want to say as well. Isn't this slick? I'm telling you, Billy, this is, hold on tight. This is what 23 is going to look like training wise. From yours truly here. So I'm super excited for this. This is great. It's been a lot of answers here. Networking and being open to learning and observing so I can interact in more effective, productive way. Love that. Trying to get my skin in the game. Come on, make this 2023 the year you get more skin in the game. Don't lose out on that market share that could easily be yours. And I'm so glad that you're in the room to make a difference for your business because of that. So thanks for playing along. This has been great. We got one more. Got one more coming along. So this is cool. So I'm so thankful that we're able to do this. So if you're not familiar with SmartPlans is just our way of how we can kind of automate some of these client touches. So in Keller Williams, we highly recommend that our agents touch our clients how many times? Feel free to share, audience. 36. 36 is that magic number. There's science behind that. There's reasons behind that. 36 times a year helps remind our contacts and our potential leads to make the connection that real estate equals Tammy Nieto, or that real estate equals Laura Metz, or plug in your name for that example, right? Because that's our main goal. We need to remind people that we're in the business of real estate and to make those connections deep in their mind so that when they hear the word real estate or market changes or anything associated in our field, your name needs to populate, right? So the old school way used to be, oh, well, let me just open my Rolodex and see who comes up as a real estate agent. Not anymore. So now we have to figure out how can we in this digital age stay in front of all these different people and capture their attention in a microsecond. Think on that for a second, because as you're scrolling through Instagram, through Facebook, I did for 30 minutes this morning. I follow a lot of real estate agents. I'm trying to figure out what are those little nuggets that are going to capture our pieces of attention and hook us for that short period of time to make us have people remember, okay, Tracy equals real estate agent. Tracy equals real estate, period. That means buying. That means selling. That means investing, right? That means possibly looking to transition careers, maybe to a landlord situation, right? So it's trying to piece those pieces together on how we can deepen those relationships, right? So I want to show you a little bit of what that looks like here inside of Command. And if you want to, you're more than welcome to join me. I've got 5 recommendations here that I'm going to share with you. And shame on me, I told all of you to go ahead and log into Command if you didn't already. And I just need to practice what I'm preaching here because I thought I did too log into Command. Zoom world, give me a thumbs up if you can see my command screen here. Of course, everyone here in person can see it here too. Thank you so much. You guys are the best audience today. This is awesome. Excuse the internet connection. It's a little laggy here. So we'll bear with it. So from Command, this is our platform. It's our CRM. It's our client relationship manager. We have a program that's going to automate a lot of this called SmartPlans. No, we won't save the password today. I'm going to jump over to the left and click on our SmartPlans button. Feel free at home on Zoom World to do the same. We're 4th from the top here. You all can interact as well. Feel free here in person to do this with me. We're going to click on Smart Plans. It's fourth from the top. It's going to take us into our Smart Plan system here. And just as a brief overview, this is our platform. It's going to look a little bit different if you're on a team. So just bear that in mind. I've got two tabs along the top. I've got one that's called My Smart Plans, and then I've got another tab called the Library. We're going to talk about both. So My Smart Plans are ones that either you have created on your own or ones that you have downloaded from our library. So this speaks a little bit to our culture, is that we're a culture of sharing. We love sharing tools and resources that make it work for people. And we're 180,000 agents strong right now. So imagine the level of sharing capability that we have, courtesy of our library, right? So I want to explore that with you guys together. So if we can, let's click on the library tab together. And we're going to quickly run through my top 5 favorite smart plans for what I think real estate agents should be using, both new and existing agents, okay? So right from here, I'm just going to move you Zoom people on up to the top. If I can, sometimes it will.
I
There we
just
go.
went into mine and I did not realize my virtual assistant had gone in and actually added campaigns. Like I've been
Hey, look
waiting
at that.
on him to do, I'm like, wait a minute, I got some in here.
Yeah.
I don't know how they work though. That's the problem.
And that's an interesting too, Tracy, because I'm starting to notice that Scott Leroy is, for new agents, are starting to add a handful of smart plans automatically for our new agents. I'm like,
that's
that's
great.
even better. That
Yes.
reduces the friction. You can't say, well, man, I need to click on it and add it. None of that. Just go ahead and add these people to it.
So a virtual assistant, that's not where we'll go over.
We can touch on that later if you want to, Billy. So right from here, I'm in the library tab. If you're not there, go ahead and click on it. We've got a few sections that I want to highlight. We have a featured section. Keep scrolling down. We've got a Keller Williams section. Scroll down a little bit more, our top rated section, and even further down, what's new. Granted, we're an international company now, so you might find some that are in different languages too. Spanish, Greek, Polish. Well, we're international now, so don't let that hold you back. So what I want to focus on here briefly is just the Keller Williams section. Keller Williams Real Estate International has put together 10 smart plans that mimic my favorite read of all time, written by Gary Keller himself, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent Book. And a lot of these smart plans are based off of that. So again, our goal is 36 touches, right? So a lot of these smart plans will add up to either half, if not more than half, to get you closer to that 36 target. So I did some math earlier, and my 5 favorites include the quarterly call plan. This is just a simple reminder to give your clients a call every 90 days. What I love about it is I can tell Command how many people a day I want to call. And we call that staggering. And if you want to touch on this a little bit more in detail, let's set some time aside on my calendar and let's go over this a little bit more one-on-one. But this is going to give us a chance to really dial it in to figure out, okay, ideally, if I'm a dual career agent or if I'm a solo agent, that number is going to look a little different for everyone, right? So maybe if I'm dual career, I might get around to 1 to 3 calls a day, depending on my work schedule. If I'm full-time real estate, shoot, sky's the limit, might be 7. I mean, what's ideal, Tammy, in your opinion?
10 a day.
10 a day, easily? I think people could do that.
10 a day, like with contact calls, 10 a day with text, and then I usually, 10 a week.
Yeah.
Cards.
That's fantastic. And sometimes it could be more than that too. Maybe it's purposefully making comments on Facebook or Instagram, right? Maybe it's reaching out to people in a direct message on those platforms too. All of those are great in conjunction with just at least touching them, right? So the quarterly call, we can set it up to call everyone, but me and Billy aren't going to call 1,300 people in our database in one day. So that's where we can set it up to schedule, say, hey, pick 3 people from my database and let's give them a call today. So really cool stuff. The monthly neighborhood nurture is my favorite, especially from a real estate value perspective. Your clients, as long as they have either a property address in the database or they're marked with a specific neighborhood, will get an email from you once a month, letting them know what the average price point sold is in their neighborhood, what the average sale price is in their neighborhood, number of days on market, price per square foot, number of active listings, number of those listings that have sold. And then it's going to show them in that same email what active listings are currently going on in their neighborhood. And that's powerful because after living in a neighborhood for a majority of my life, those neighbors are nosy and they want to know what's going on. So what better way to keep them in the loop by sending them a monthly email about what's going on, right? Tammy, do you have something to share with that?
I love this one, only I found out that some of the information was incorrect, so have they
Sure.
updated this now, and is it more current?
That's a great
now?
question. So I think from last time I checked, this is more on a 6-month scale. So some of those numbers are going to look at that window. So they may be accurate, they may not be accurate, but that's where you could kind of generate a conversation with your clients as well to say, hey, this is what it says. I've got some brand new information here about what just dropped and seeing what's going on in your neighborhood. Do you have time to get on the phone with me to discuss that?
Right,
Most of the time, they're going to say yes.
right, I just don't want.
But that's a
them-
great point, though. You don't want to be sharing inaccurate information.
Right, and that's the reason why I kind of went away from this one. I love it, and I want to use this. However, like one of my clients called me and was like, if my clients can find the information quicker and better and it's more correct than
Right.
mine, I
Right.
don't want to send it. I understand what you're saying. It does.
Absolutely.
It can start a conversation. However, I don't want to start a conversation.
Right, and you're wrong.
Exactly.
Sure.
But I really like the concept, and
Yeah.
the idea of this.
And I want to encourage you too, to figure out, one, how many people are going to turn around and be like, yep, Tammy, I got to call you out. You're just totally wrong. And you might have a good number of people. You're probably right.
Leah, and I know Laura's probably seeing these sharks. They're on there more than
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Because I'm busy showing, and they call me. They're like, "Oh, this one isn't on there," and I'm like, ah.
Hey, listen, I'm just so thankful you called. If you're interested in learning more about a career in real estate, I've got a connection for you. You got a free real estate school. Come join our team. Let's maybe get you in the more accurate place. I don't know. That could be something too.
Love
Just
it.
putting that
I
out
love
there.
it.
You've got a great point though. You don't want to be sharing inaccurate information. And I say that to say it's looking at a window and it all pulls from MLS.
Yeah.
So yes, you are the neighborhood expert. You should be, of course. If it is inaccurate,
I'm
let's
gonna try again, because when I tried it.
Take
was
a look
long
at
time
it.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Did you want to add something too, Billy, or?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zoom world, you doing good out there? Hopefully you're learning some nuggets along the way. Love it, love it. If you got any questions, Zoom world, come off of mute and just interrupt me. This is the time of day we're having it today. So quarterly call plan, monthly neighborhood nurture. No one loves anything more than a personalized phone call from you on their birthday, right? So that's where I love the birthday smart plan, but it's just more than a phone call though. I'm thinking about how do I take their birthday experience to the next level, right? So it's a birthday card. Maybe you slip in maybe a gift card to Starbucks or maybe their favorite restaurant and say, hey, thanks for working with me. Love you dearly. Lunch is on me today. Or, you know, I'm not going to lie, if you just sent Katie a Christmas card or a birthday card that had a $5 Brewster's or Cold Stone Creamery card in there, but if you know those people, you'll know what to really send them to say, hey, I know you, you're my favorite. Since I know ice cream's your favorite, here's a little gift card for you. $5, nice little cone on me. Yeah, Tracy.
So my question is, how do we find out their birthdays if they don't have it on Facebook? Because
Great
how
question.
do you say to them without them thinking that you're trying to steal their identity? Like,
Sure.
hey, can you give me your anniversary, your birthdays and favorite color? I mean,
So I want to challenge you too. Is that normally how you would say it over the phone?
well, no, but I'm wondering how do other people, like if I send an email asking for, I
Sure.
think they might think, oh, this is a scam.
Totally get that. I'd love to hear
So-
from the audience too. If you have any suggestions, Zoom world, come chime in too. If you want to come off mute and share any suggestions or tips you've done.
So I haven't done this.
Go ahead, Leah.
Okay. So I haven't done this yet, but I've seen where people have recommended, like, if it's a client to send them like a Google form of like their favorite beverage, their favorite restaurant, just like a get to know you kind of thing.
That's
So
great.
that way you have all that information, and that's also good things to have for like a closing gift.
That's really
So
good.
you're not giving them wine if they don't drink, or just something like that.
Love that, Laura. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else want to chime in and talk a little bit more about that too? I've got some just suggestions myself, but if you've experienced it in the real world and gotten some good results, let's hear it.
I usually like, and can you hear me?
Say that a little bit more, Talisha.
Can you hear me?
I think so. Give it another try.
Oh, okay. So I, in general conversation, like one time we was just having general conversation. My client had mentioned that her son's birthday was coming up, and then from there, I just took it an opportunity to talk about birthdays and oh, when's your birthday? My birthday, such and such, and
That's
just
good.
started like that.
So if I'm hearing you right, it's kind of almost a part of the conversation already, where you see something on Facebook where it was like their son's birthday, and it's like, oh, now that we're talking about birthdays, I don't even have your birthday.
Yeah.
That's really good. I like that. I'm going to provide one more suggestion unless the audience wants to add one more.
Open house follow-up is great.
Yeah. So one other with the birthdays, I just, if I'm missing theirs, I just give them a call and say, hey, I love to do something real special for people's birthdays, and I notice I don't have yours. Would you be able to share with me your birthday? Because I really want to do something special for you this year. And that's always a great way to kind of position it too. Same thing with the home anniversary. That's another one of my top 5 here is, doing something really special for them too is always nice, especially if you just call them and just say, hey, oh my gosh, I can't believe you've been in your home for 2 years. How's it been so far?
Can the lender that you're using just share the birthday with you?
You could do that too. A little bit of super sleuth there, Billy. Love that.
Go to the lender.
Yeah, he's got their lender.
Well, they should not give me that information though.
Okay.
That's
what I was
personal
curious.
information, so they shouldn't give me social. So
Right.
depends on your
I don't know
relationship
if
with your
social-
lender.
Yeah.
Right.
Very true. Yeah. So home anniversaries too. I know some of you, I think Lynn, you've been doing this too, if I'm not mistaken, that people will go kind of comb through the records for GIS, for the county office, for the tax records and things like that, and figuring out if you're the one that
I have the same ones.
you help them sell their home, where is that information living, right? So,
They're holding up anniversary card.
oh, look at that. Tell me, Laura, what you got in your hand there? You and Leah.
So we have the same ones. Good old Amazon. So it's blank, and so I'll just send like a anniversary card, and got this from Nathan to send it to not only your buyers, but also the people who bought the house that you sold. So
Oh,
if you were on the
cool.
seller side, because you never know if they still have their agent or if they're touching base. And it's nice to hear it from everybody that, happy anniversary. Thank you, Nathan Arnold. Little plug for him.
I'm writing this down.
So
I
basically, happy
never
anniversary
considered
on your
that.
Closing.
That's
whether
right.
They bought or sold it. Yeah.
I love that. I never considered that. That's
Yeah,
such a
good
cool trick.
I have something to say.
Let's hear it, Lynn. I love it.
So I'm with AM Cards. It's similar to Send Out Cards, but it's more affordable. But anyways, my assistant Ann, at the beginning of every month, she sends the home anniversary card depending on how many years they've lived in the home. So we do that. And then one time I was at a closing and the other agent asked my clients for their birthday, which I thought was kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
she was going to be marketing to my clients.
How about that?
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to give it right back too. You might start on calling theirs and be like, hey, I just want to make sure that you're taken care of, That's really interesting. Finding out those missing gaps of the information in your database.
And I guess if you're trying to recruit agents, you could always send one to the other agent.
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
other
you
side to
totally
sell.
could. Yeah.
Hey, we had a great transaction last year.
Well, I think also what's interesting, I'm just sitting here thinking, is that I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in my personal database. Do I send them out birthday cards?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Something to think about, because if he came with us to join us with First Step of Bold with Mark Ramsey, I think he was the one that mentioned it in the room with, how much would it turn your stomach if you found out that people in your database were using other agents instead of you, and all you had to do was just pick up the phone and wish them happy birthday. Like, it sounds simple, but at the same time, could you have been missing out on all those opportunities?
Absolutely.
You never know. Sometimes I don't want to know.
So one thing I think Tracy is that Tracy in there?
Yeah, Tracy's here with us.
Okay. I think she just kind of said this about like sending it to other agents. So I've actually received like a Starbucks gift card from 2 past deals I've done from other agents, just saying like, hey, thanks for a smooth transaction. Would love to work together again. And that I thought was like really cool. So I'm gonna start doing that too.
It's those nuggets, Laura, that make us think what's going to separate us in the world of being professionals that other people aren't doing, right? And then that looks to you as an individual and as an agent of Keller Williams to say, man, they're really like happy over there. Is there something weird going on? Have they drank any Kool-Aid or anything like that?
I was about to say, we could give a Kool-Aid packet.
Speaking of the Kool-Aid man.
So I'm gonna show my age. So in the 90s, before texting and emails and all that, you go to a closing and the other agent would have a bottle of wine or champagne or something for the other agent. Like we were giving agent to agent gifts back then, and that was before recruiting was ever a thing.
Hashtag bring the gifts back.
Yeah.
The gift of giving, right? It's even better.
I love that idea though.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too.
I'm telling you, this is where ideas happen, right here in this room.
It's interesting. I was reading a book. I can't remember the book, so I apologize on this, but it was talking about the person that has the world record for selling cars, and he would sell 60 cars a month.
Wow.
That was his average. Okay. And they talked about what his plan was. And what he did was he found a way to send something to someone every month to put them in mind. Every month he was sending out.
Same strategy.
Same exact strategy.
Yep.
And so you're sending out, like, for instance, Halloween, you're sending out something every month.
That's right.
Right. And so, and staying in the forefront. So, I mean, that was just proof of.
Proofs in the product,
And
right?
consistency.
And consistency.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
Right.
Without a doubt. Speaking of consistency, I know that people are starting to ramp up a little bit with their open houses as well. So the open house follow-up plan is awesome. Of just staying in touch with those people, those leads that you may have gotten from your sign-in list. We talked about home anniversary. The last one that's one of my favorite is the promote my app, because I'm all in favor of keeping all of that rich data. I don't want to sell it to companies. I don't want them to turn around and sell me that data either. Why not just keep all of it and cut the middleman out? So this, what it does is allows you to share your website, your app with your clients, and allows them to get connected with you. And then in turn, you're able to see what they see, what houses they tap on, what homes they like, what collections of homes they build of like homes in a certain area. If you want to talk more on that, let's schedule some time. Well, I know we're overdue from a consumer app class. We need to have another one here as the
When
market.
the app first came out years ago, I was using it all the time, and I'm not sure why I stopped. Like, because I used to want to talk to someone on the phone. Oh, you can also, go to my app and it will show you the real-time MLS data. I don't know why I stopped.
Biggest upgrade this week is that now you can search for a particular school and all of the homes that are zoned for that school. That is a game changer.
Now, is that based on MLS data or on other data?
I have to look. I don't know that answer off the top
I
of my
wonder
head.
if one wrong agent puts in their listing the wrong
Sure.
elementary school,
Right.
that's gonna.
Skew it and
Yeah,
all.
I
Sure.
wonder.
And that totally could. I just don't know where it pulls that info off the top of my head. But
But
we
that's
can,
what a lot of people like, is to look by school, so.
we can look at that. Questions on the top 5 recommendations that I have. Did I give you 5? Hopefully I gave you 5.
It was 6.
It was 6, even better. Bonus 1. So I'll give you one more bonus one if you want. I'm a huge fan of the 5-5-5. This is a way where you can stay in touch with your people. You add 5 people to this smart plan every day. It includes things like phone calls, handwritten notes, text messages, social media touches, and that is 1 touch every 30 days. So I like this because sometimes I need that reminder to be very purposeful on social media, or to just have that simple reminder in the back of my head to just, hey, you haven't talked to this person in a while, shoot them a quick text, let them know that you're thinking about them. And that's something I'm guilty of. So just a little story, the running joke in our house is that John's going to do his once a year social media post, and Katie never knows when it's going to happen. So I might just go and snap a picture and she'll look at me and say, is this the time you're going to post it on Instagram? Is this the year? You know, you're going to post one. So don't be that guy. Don't be that social media guy that only posts once a year, or girl that posts once a year. Be different, stand out. So that 555 is just a nice little reminder to do that. But if you have some time, take a look through here and see what's going on. With the SmartPlans, you might find that you like one, and definitely look through them too, because everyone runs their business differently, right? So you might find one that works really well for you, and you might find one where it's like, you know what, I want to tweak this, like Tammy's situation. That'll give you a chance, and I'll show you here in a minute how we can do that. So I'm going to go back to my slides. We got another question for you because I love engagement. I love interaction. Here is the next one. I want to know what you want to accomplish today. So we've got some time here. We have approximately 20 minutes or so where we can do one of these things, maybe two, I don't know. But I want to hear from you. If you come join me back at Slido again on your phones, I want to hear from you what you want to accomplish. Do you want to create a smart plan to help you follow up with social media leads? Do you want to create a smart plan to market a listing? That could be pretty big right now. Will it let you come back to your web browser for it? And if it doesn't, Tammy, feel free to scan the QR code again. Yeah, and see if it lets you in. Did it bring you back, Billy? It did, okay.
And when you say vendor partnerships, what do you mean?
How do you interpret vendor
Do you
partnerships?
mean like inspectors, lenders, I mean, that sort?
That's how I do it. Some people throw HVAC techs in there, plumbers, anything with that. So I think you can just tap on what you want to accomplish. Billy, will it let you tap on more than one, or is it just one? Oh, okay.
Maybe. It's
Laura, did you vote?
seems.
Did it let you tap on just one or more than one? I haven't played around with it, so I'm not sure.
Maybe that works.
It lets me do more than one.
Interesting. Okay, then. All right. So we're tied for first. So I want someone to be the tiebreaker. We won't name names. There we go. So we got a social media lead follow-up smart plan. We got one more person. I want to let them vote, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll showcase to you what we're going
Can
to
you
do.
tell how many voted up on the upper right?
Yep, I think
Okay.
that's where we're looking at. Yeah. So,
We've got 10 people.
yeah. I saw one more person. I don't know if they voted or not. We'll do the countdown. We'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at that. Great. All right. So I think social media has it. If we get to the vendor partnerships, we can. But if you want to do that one-on-one, we can schedule some time individually. We can work through that together. But hopefully you'll have the tools and resources after today to kind of build that on your own. So this is, again, very interactive. So we're going to go kind of at a brisk pace, but we're going to keep this very plain and simple. But if you feel like you don't want to participate, but you'd rather listen and take notes, just remember we are recording today, so you can go back and rewatch this as well. So I'm going to shift now back to command, because we're going to do a social media follow-up plan for a lead we got from social media. So I'm back here in SmartPlans. I'm back here.
John.
Lynn,
Quick
yeah, what's going
question.
on?
Will this apply to any leads that you've got coming in, or just social media specifically?
Totally up to you. The specific one for me is just with social media for today's example. But again, based on the tools and things you learned from today, you might be able to create your own smart plan for any lead. So again,
Okay.
it's going to be situational for your business. So, but again, if you have any questions, Lynn, afterwards, let's schedule some time together and let's hammer this out for you to create your own custom plan that works for your favor. So I'm in SmartPlans. I'm going to go ahead and click on the create button in the upper right-hand corner. The first thing I'm prompted with is to give it a name. So I'm going to call it workshop, just for our example today. I'm going to call it workshop, SM for social media, smart plan. give it whatever name you want it to be, but this is just my demo example here. And after you get your name situated, we're going to go ahead and click apply. And then it gets us into the nitty gritty of building our smart plan. So I want to highlight to you the features inside of here, and I'm going to move you a little bit, Zoom world. That's good enough, I think. So we have some actions here, okay? We've got about 7 or so, 8 actions. We've got creating a task, making a call, sending an email, sending a SMS or MMS, text message, if you will, delay, add to another smart plan, and to restart the whole thing. So I want to touch on these individually here. Creating a task could be something as simple as a reminder for you to do something. So it could be making a phone call, liking something on Facebook, adding them as a friend on social media, things like that. Making a phone call is same thing as tasks, but it's designated inside of our platform to where you can hit the call button, and then it goes ahead and executes a phone call. That helps really well from the command app on your phone. So you just hit the call button, the number pops up, tap on the number, and you're making the phone call. So we're trying to make it as easy as we can for you to make that phone call.
Doesn't it show up on your person in your contact that you made a phone call if you do it through that?
It will. So
It
afterwards,
shows
when you're
your-
done, you'll be able to log that action.
Okay.
So
And
that would be the best one to add.
That's my favorite, personally speaking. So then the next one is to send an email. So this could be just as something as like an email that you would typically send on Gmail or something like that. But if you want to make it really nice and pretty from our designs platform, you can bring in one that you've already used for that. So that's really cool to do. Twilio is a service that we have that integrates with Command that allows you to send text messages massively at one time.
Do we have to pay for that?
You do have to pay for that. This service is currently out of commission right now because they're working on it with TCPA guidelines and FCC communication regulations. So they're not accepting new subscribers at this time, but I'll let you know when they are if you're interested. But for those of us that already are existing users and want to use this more to our advantage, you could go ahead and add this and it will automatically send a text message out to those people. So you can also set a delay, which is a delay between one action to the next. So maybe I want to send an email on day 1, maybe wait 3 days, and then on day 4, I want to send another email. You can make that happen too. Let's say you got, so we'll use the social media one, for example. You've got someone that's looking on homes, but maybe you want to go ahead and automatically add them to a monthly neighborhood nurture. You can do that right from here too. Probably for the social media example, we won't restart it, but I'm gonna close the door here. Situational awareness. That's all it is. All right, so, and then we have the option to restart the smart plan. So again, all tools to consider here. So I'm gonna go ahead and create an example here, but I wanna hear from you. What type of things would you expect of how you can follow up with a lead that you acquired from social media?
So this is following up from a lead.
That's right. So maybe we ran a Facebook ad and we've got a number of leads, and we want to make sure that they remember our name as the real estate agent of choice. What could be something that we can implement? Zoom world, feel free to participate as well.
I think calling them as soon as possible shows them to be on top of the game.
Great. So maybe that could be step 1, Tammy. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and click this make a call button. And I'm going to move Zoom world out of the way here just for a quick second. So now we can see here. So we'll make this due today, day 1. And the call task might be to call. Now, here's a great thing that we have with the smart plan is we have these features called merge fields. And these merge fields are going to look towards the contact or lead and fill in their pieces of information. So I'm not going to put in just call this person from, social media. I'm going to be purposeful with it. I'm going to say call merge fields. I'm going to have their first name. I'm going to put a space.
And so you put that
little F in the brackets there. And then I'm going to choose contact last name. And so now let's say the lead's name is John Smith. So if I add John Smith to the Smart Plan, it's already going to show up for me to say, call John Smith, or call Susie Q, or call Tracy Studler. It's very situational based on the contact, which saves you a lot of time. So now you're not having to make all these tasks and type in their names, fill in their phone numbers. It's already there for you.
Do you have to put contact phone after that?
Some people do, Tammy, but sometimes people do it down here in the description. So if you're working from command on the computer, sometimes you might want to have their phone number pop up in the description. Sometimes people want to put it, excuse me, in the task name. So it's up to
If
you.
Put it in the task name, it won't mess anything up if you don't. know.
Not at all. Correct. So like, for example, if you wanted to do that, I might put a dash and then go ahead to the merge fields again and then put contact phone number. So it's there. Or sometimes I'll
Do you
put it
have
in
to
the
put a
description.
dash in there?
You don't have to. I just like to have those spacers to
Oh,
indicate
okay.
the different piece of information. That's just how my brain thinks.
Right, I was just afraid if you did put the dash, then it would populate the information.
No. And that's what's so cool about the command app on your phone, Tammy, is that if it knows that this is a call task, which it is, you can just go ahead and hit the call button and it already has the phone number ready to go. And so I'm not on my personal computer, so I can't showcase that to you. But if you want to go through that in more detail, let's get some time together and I'd love to show you in more detail.
I think we talked about this maybe once before, but I'm not sure.
We probably
If
have.
we put a person in our contact and we're putting in the legal name so that it transfers over to DocuSign for when we do our paperwork, then that might say call William, but it might actually be Billy. So
Correct.
after closing or doing, we should go back and maybe put the first name as the name they prefer to be called.
That's
for
right.
anything.
So we've talked about this too, Tracy, is that if we want this to be their preferred name, we're not going to know until we actually have a conversation with them. So the legal name is going to be what pulls into all the legal documents for command. So we want to make that distinction of like what they're actually called when we talk to them over the phone or in person versus what all of their legal documents should say.
Okay, but that first name is gonna pull from the
Whatever.
legal, the first name you have on your contact.
It's
right?
actually going to be, so let's say, for example, this is a Facebook ad I ran, right? So I use my legal name because I'm just called John Goldberg, right? But like, for example, Billy, I'll use you as an example. So like if Billy's Facebook profile comes through as Billy Trevathan, we know Billy's legal name is William, right? But we won't know that until we actually get to the point of having a signed disclosure agreement or something like that. So that way we can appropriately put those pieces of information where they need to be, right? So it probably won't be until that point, but do you see my point with that?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just thinking in my mind, like after closing, I should go back and change the preferred, to put the preferred name in my command contact.
Right.
So that whenever this is pulling up, it's actually pulling up the person. Because like if we put email,
That's
would
right.
it have that person's first name on an email?
Exactly. So
Okay.
it would. So we'll talk more about that in
All
more
right,
detail
I'm just
there
making
too.
myself a note.
Yeah. So Tammy suggested we've got on day one, the lead comes through, we're going to give them a call. Anything else on day one that we should do?
Quick question with the call, does it, the phone number, what does it show up as the phone number that you're calling from?
Great question, Laura. It's going to show up whatever phone number they have on record from Facebook. So when we use the Facebook lead generation form through a command from an ad we ran through command, it's going to prompt them to say, okay, make sure your information is correct. And Facebook's going to fill it in for us. Their first name, their last name, phone number, and email. So it's
But
going to
from- Sorry, I was just
Laura.
gonna, from us, like, who does it show as calling them? Does it have like our number that's on our profile, or is it like when they're receiving the call,
Yeah.
who
It should
does
be
it
with
show
your
as
name.
calling?
I mean, are you using your personal cell phone?
Okay, so it doesn't call directly from the app. Never mind.
Yeah. So that's a
Never
great
mind.
point, Laura. So you can hit the call button from command on your phone, and it's really at the end of the day going to dial directly from your cell phone number. So
Okay.
if you've got the caller ID set up for your full name to show up, then yes, they're going to see you calling them.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, I'm sorry to do this because you guys probably are way ahead of me on this one for a second. And so we're talking about Facebook app. So we're tied in the fields, the F that's over there to the right. Is
Yes.
that for fields?
That is, Billy. Yep. So that we
Okay.
call these just merge fields. And so this is any information that's associated with the lead
I got
here.
you. So
Mhm.
how is Facebook feeding into this?
So this goes into that Facebook lead gen form I mentioned a minute ago.
Okay,
So when they see your ad on Facebook, they're going to go ahead and tap on, yeah, I want to learn more. And then the lead gen form pops up on Facebook and all of their information is going to get automatically populated because of what exists on Facebook.
interesting.
Yeah. So it's what I call a frictionless experience for you obtaining the information.
So if I did.
We want to make it as easy for them as possible.
If I've got a listing today, I can try this out, right? So I've got a listing today, put it on Facebook and as an ad.
Yep.
Right? And then I should be able to do this.
That's right. Yep. So we could talk about that more in detail too, if you want, or I'll send you some resources on it.
Okay.
So let's say, I'm going to hypothetically say that after the phone call, maybe we'll wait a day and then maybe we'll shoot them a text message just to see what they're up to. So if I want to wait a day, I need to add a delay marker here. So I'm going to hit the add button for set delay. I'm going to make it just for 1 day. And then I'm going to come on over here and hit send SMS. And then now as you see it, it's going to show up now as day 2. So day 1, we made the phone call to them. Day 2, we're going to send them a text message. So I might say something like, and you all talk differently than I do. So I might say, hi, and I could come over here to the merge fields, contact first
You
name.
can only do that if you have Julia.
Correct. Now, in lieu of that, Tina, it's a really great question. Maybe I want to send the text, but I don't have Twilio. I would do a create task instead to say text, contact first name, contact last name about the Facebook ad, something like that. So I can say, hi, contact first name, and I'm all about emojis. So you can come on over here and add yourself a little emoji if you want. I like the wave one. Waving your hand.
What is static versus dynamic?
Great question. So dynamic is if we were to repeat this smart plan, if I had more than one text message option here, they might receive option number 1, option number 2, or option number 3. So I might have different variations of the text messages that I send out.
Okay, so you could actually put in here, save it, and then just get it to, if you're hitting dynamic,
Mhm.
that's nice.
It's slick. It really is. I'll just say something like, I saw you were interested in my listing from Facebook. What could be a really good action question? Like, we could say something like, are you looking for homes in that neighborhood? So that kind of starts off the conversation a little bit, right? Maybe they are interested in that neighborhood, or maybe they'll be like, no, I actually just like the house. Cool. Are you actively looking for homes right now? Because if so, I'd love to help you out in your search home process, right? So you get an opportunity, if you leave it open-ended like that, to really dial that in and create that engaging conversation with them. So maybe after the text, what should we do next? Maybe have another phone call or so to touch base with them?
Maybe another delay.
Maybe another delay? What could we, or how long could we delay it by? Maybe we want to delay it by another 2 days or so?
Say contact them every day for 3 days.
Every day for 3 days? That's a good suggestion. So maybe we'll wait a day and maybe we'll make another phone call on there. So we'll say maybe
You wouldn't do
like,
an email?
you always could add
Because
emails.
you've already kind of done the phone call, right?
As long as you have the email address.
That's right. And if it's a right email address too. So maybe that first phone call just could be like confirming information. And then you could start off that conversation, or maybe you might just end up leaving a voicemail. So think about this in a whole as a process as well, of what your experience might be on that. So we could just have a follow-up phone call, and or maybe you could maybe you could, here's another example. Let me just delete this here.
John,
Yes, ma'am, Lynn.
if you send the text and it's not your phone number and they reply, are you going to get that response?
With Twilio, you will, yes. So we talked about that a little bit earlier, that some people have Twilio and some people don't. So Tammy is an example here that, let me go back and walk you through that, that if Tammy doesn't have Twilio, I might want to delete the SMS and MMS feature, and I'm just going to do the create task option and just say text, contact first name, space, contact last name, about Facebook ad. So I would leave it like that. So that way you get that reminder to send out that text message to them. This is only if you do not have Twilio's service with that. That's the workaround. Can't be back-to-back delays. Yeah, okay, there we go. So maybe another idea, like Tracy mentioned, was maybe we could go ahead and send them an email for what is going on in their neighborhood. And I think a good one to have would be the neighborhood nurture. So what you would need to do is you would need to add those neighborhoods that they're interested in, or that one neighborhood where the house is, to their contact. So I might need a task for that. So I'm going to go ahead and click create task and say add neighborhood, or neighborhoods really, to contact first name, contact last name. Because then after you do that, you want to make sure that they have a chance to receive the monthly neighborhood nurture. So I'm going to set one more delay after doing that and saying that I'm going to go ahead and send and add them to a smart plan. So if you want to add someone to a smart plan, that smart plan needs to be in your library. So I'm going to click the drop down to say monthly neighborhood nurture, but I'd rather just search for it. So monthly neighborhood nurture. So here's what this smart plan looks like so far. You've got starting day one, they're going to get a phone call from you. And maybe day one, as you're having that conversation, maybe you talk about the different neighborhoods they're interested in. So if you notice that these options are a little bit out of place for how you want to do it, you can click the up and down buttons and you can move them up and down. So I just moved it up. So I'm going to add that task probably maybe to day one. So they get the phone call from me, and then I'm going to go ahead and add neighborhoods to their contact record. So that way on day two, I'm going to send them a text. And maybe on day two, I go ahead and send them that monthly neighborhood nurture. That could be a really good option. And then maybe on day three, like you said, Billy, you want to stay in contact with them as much as you can. Maybe day three, you could give them a call and say, hey, I just wanted to check in to see if you got my email about what's going on in the neighborhood. So you could say call, contact first name, space, contact last name.
You have to have space in there.
I like to, because otherwise it's gonna look like it's all just one word.
I have a quick question, because I added the email first before I added the contact and the name in one of my task names, and it wouldn't let me delete it out. So do I have to delete the whole thing? Like say for when you called, you didn't want the first name there.
Okay, so if you don't want the first name there, you could just go ahead and click before that and then just hit the backspace key.
Oh, okay.
And then that should delete that
Okay,
little
perfect.
merge field
Thank
there. Yeah, great question, Tammy. Yeah, and absolutely. Sometimes what I do is that after I make the smart plan, I like to put myself on it just to make sure everything functions correctly, right? So that way you'll get a firsthand experience to say, okay, I did get that phone call reminder. I did send that text in theory, and I did put myself on a monthly neighborhood nurture. All of it seemed to work. So that could be another cool option to do, just to make sure.
Is the add hyperlink, is that somewhere where you might put your website address or something, or?
You
what
can.
hyperlink?
So that's a great question there, Tracy. So let's say I'm on the phone and I want to send them my website. And if I don't want to have it too far away, I want to keep my resources close by, you can add that hyperlink there. So all you have to do is just kind of copy and paste it from command into an email or into a text.
So could we put our, well, I said website, we could also put our phone app, right?
Sure. Yeah. You could also put the URL for that there too. Good point. That way, if you want to get them on some sort of home search or things like that, they want to register for your app as well, right? So great things to be thinking about. And this is, I think, what's going to be so unique is that your smart plan may look a little different than Billy's, right? Just because of how you want to do business and how you want to follow up with these leads that you acquire from social media, right? So let's say everything's good. I want to save it right from here. What I love is that I'm taking a look at time. So we're a little over on time. So if you want to stick around, you're welcome to. But if you have to go, I understand. Just remember we're recording this, but I want to showcase really two things really is just how to get these people added to this smart plan automatically for a Facebook ad, for example. So let's go ahead and just save it. And I'm just going to put together briefly a quick social media ad. So I'm coming over here to campaigns. You feel free to follow along, or if not, you could just simply watch and you'll see all this here. So you could go ahead into create campaign. We're going to do a social media ad. Once it loads. I did.
Okay, so mine's saying that select a default personal account because I'm in my team account. So
Yeah.
I mean, I have to go to my personal account in order to do this?
Not necessarily, Tracy. You just need to choose what page they're going to be broadcasted from. So Billy, we'll use your example as a listing. We'll say workshop test for the example. I want to put this on Facebook. And then I'm going to move these Zoom people out of the way for a minute. Hit create campaign. Billy, did you say you have a listing?
Yeah, getting ready. Yeah, he could be. It's not on there yet.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
We'll use this one. South Dakota. You got any people looking to move to South Dakota?
Actually, yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, here I found a listing to you.
Sorry, not South, it's Montana. Sorry.
I gotcha. So I'm doing an example here. Maybe I want to advertise a listing. I'm just going to put some quick text in here. Oh, home on the range. Oh, that is so, yeah, look at me go. We'll say you could be coming home to this home on the range. We'll save this. Facebook. We'll choose my Facebook page. This, Billy, right here is the piece you want to watch out for because you want to do the Facebook lead gen form.
Right. Okay.
It doesn't want to use, oh, there it goes. Sorry, just taking a minute.
So that's your personal.
That's my business page. Yep. So Facebook lead gen form, it's always recommended. I would put the link for the listing right here. So in order for them to view the listing, they have to go through that Facebook lead gen form first, and then it gets them sent on over to your website for the listing. So I don't have the listing close by, so I'm just going to do my website.
Right.
I highly recommend, though, if you're advertising a listing, go to your website, pull up the listing, copy that URL and paste it right inside there, because we want to make it as easy as possible for people to get the information they're looking for. The only thing we're asking for is just their name, contact information, and then they can come see the listing. I don't want to send them to my website to then have to search for the listing and then get lost and then they become disinterested.
Sure.
Right? So we want to make it as easy as possible for them to get engaged with that listing. So I like to choose auto audience. And let's hypothetically say we got a lot of people from Columbia moving to South Dakota specifically for whatever reason. Maybe they're digging for oil or something like that. So I want to come over here. I'm going to choose Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, so that's where you're advertising it too.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
So we'll choose that. I'll keep it a 20-mile radius. That's fine. This is my favorite part. The whole reason why we built this smart plan is on the lead settings piece. So if we click configure, what's cool is you can get all of these leads tagged for you in your database. So that's pretty cool. So I have people that will go ahead and do a Facebook ad tag,
Makes sense.
because then you could quickly see, okay, I want to find the people.
I would add the date.
You totally could do that too, Tammy. You can have actually more than one tag. So let's say this is my one listing for the month or whatever. So I'm just gonna do 10-2023. You know, it just as an option, right? So we can just do that. We'll give it a color, whatever. Cool. And then you could go ahead and automatically put them on the smart plan. So you don't even have to think about it. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do my workshop social media smart plan, hit save. And the moment I get a lead,
Nice.
it's going to put them on that smart plan and it's going to tag them on my database. So doing double duty for me, essentially. This is the whole purpose behind this, is to make, one, your life easier, two, save you time, and keep all of those rich leads you got engaged with you. That's what our purpose is.
So it takes the lines that I can't really read. It says welcome to.
Yeah, this is actually pulling it directly from MLS.
Okay, so it's pulling from that data.
That's right. And if
that's-
pulling from that description for the listing, if you didn't want to have that, you can make it your own.
Sure.
So
Okay.
some people like to throw in emojis and stuff like that. That's totally up to you.
And so now it's not marketed to Facebook. Don't you have to pay for this as well?
You do, Billy.
Okay.
Yep. So I've got it here set for 10 days for this ad, and I'm spending about $30. That's pretty average. If you want this, well, if we know that maybe this is like a large parcel of land, typically those are going to sit for a little while longer. So you can add that range out, but as you add the range, you want to probably increase the budget as well to get the viewership you're looking for. So, but 10 days for $3 a day, that's pretty standard. And that's probably the recommended settings there as well.
John,
Yes, Lynn?
how long does it take once you put a new listing in for it to show up on your website?
No less than an hour, if that, I think.
Okay.
The settings
wanna
might be
make
a little
sure you-
faster. Yeah,
I
that's a
just
good
want to make
question.
sure you can, because it's important to advertise immediately and
Without
not
a
have
doubt.
to wait,
And of course, the faster you can put the information onto MLS, the faster you can turn around and advertise for it, right? So that could be something you could just have on another tab, just pull your website up, just keep typing the property address, and then boom, you're ready to go. So great question. I'm going to stick around for a bit. If you guys want to leave, you're welcome to. Just because I know we've ran over on time, I want to respect that for you, but I'm here to answer any questions if you have. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. So we'll open the floor now to any questions if you've got it. I'm happy to hear any questions you may have. So. Did I hit the mark today, Billy?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope I did. Thank you. So speaking of which, I'm gonna just, we already did go into command. So I'm gonna reshare this screen again too. I am huge about feedback. So if you want to leave me some feedback about how we did today, and when I say we, I mean you, me, everyone else here today.
You do it with Slido?
I can't. I wish I could, because this actually takes you to a Google form that I prefer all of that comments and feedback to leave. So if you want to leave me some feedback, a little link there for leaving me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you.